Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today it's a little bit odd meeting, right? Because it's on Sunday, but it was the time that were able to have this meeting, and I'm glad that you were able to hop in and participate. Okay, so for today we will talk about the dress codes during the event and also some tips for transportation in Poland. Okay, so I invite Beatrix Murvai and also Rafael Nalkovics to host the meeting. So guys, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So just a second. Oh, no. Yes. So for today's agenda, I will start by presenting the dress codes that we were asked to prepare for the symposium. And afterwards, Rafael will talk more about how you can commute within Poland, and especially within the city of Lublin. So let's go. Actually, I participated in the first in one of the symposiums that was held in Calgary, Canada, as a high school student. And to be honest, I was a little bit shy and wasn't really sure about if my dressing was appropriate. So I thought that it's a good idea to maybe explain to you, like help you out a little bit. So let's start by the casual one.
Oh, just one thing. Can you maybe tell where you're from? You both?
Yeah, sorry. I'm Hungarian. I'm from Romania, currently living in Germany and studying economics and business economics in the Netherlands.
Yeah. Sorry.
True European.
Okay, so maybe I'll quickly introduce myself. So my name is Rafał. I'm from Poland. I live in Warsaw. So I was chosen to prepare this transportation part for you and to to introduce some tips on how to transport in Poland. And yeah, so I think we can start.
Okay, so let's go to the first one. So casual wear is actually very easy. It's basically what you wear in your every days. So I would say it's like literally just jeans and just a second. Sorry for the noise. Casual wear is your everyday jeans, shorts, t-shirts. Just make sure to pay attention to the weather outside, because summer here can be pretty hot for some and maybe cold for others. So pay attention to bring clothes that are good for both. So be prepared for rainy days and as well like really hot sunny days. And don't forget about bringing the extra pair of clean sports shoes that we might use on the sports day, and the university t-shirt to be shared with your future friends. And I got you some real life examples. Here is what people wore in previous symposiums. I really loved the first photo. It was actually like when we visited a national park in Canada. And then people, as you can see, were playing sports and then just meeting on the campus. So it's literally just casual wear that you would wear on normal occasions. So the next one is business casual. This is a little bit more elevated. I would say blouses that are not too revealing. You should have your shoulders covered. And for men, even like a simple clean one color t-shirt is fine, or polo t-shirts are very practical for this attire. And you don't need a tie. And try to keep your accessories to the minimum. One tip is actually you can upgrade or downgrade your outfits. You can upgrade the casual into business casual by adding a blazer on it, or just instead of having a normal tee, you can wear a shirt, or you can combine the t-shirt with a more elegant pair of pants. And some examples from the symposium here. These were like the sessions, like how people attended different sessions. You can even spot some of the ambassadors on some of the photos if you're very observant. And then the next one is professional. This is what you would wear for presentations on the day of the two presentations. For men, it requires a full suit with a tie, preferably. And the same for women, but in that case, you can wear skirts or even exchange the whole suit into very elegant dresses with a blazer. And pay attention to your shoes and overall outfit. You should keep your hair and accessories very clean and minimalistic. And as a business student, I wouldn't really recommend wearing high heels because during the day, that can be a little bit uncomfortable. So loafers, I think that like are a good go for it. And try not to wear new shoes. Again, that can cause accidents. And some examples here is how people interpreted it. And the last but not the least one is formal. So what should we wear for the gala? For men, it's recommended to wear dark, simple suits. It might be the same suit that you wear for your professional attire, maybe just a new shirt. It's easy. And for the ladies, elegant goes, cocktail dresses, matching heels or flats if you prefer so. And here you can be very creative and showcase your statement accessories. One tip would be like in X culture, we value culture a lot. So it would be very nice if you could prepare and come and showcase us your traditional clothing. It looked very nice in previous years. I haven't found any photos specific to that, but please do so. I would be very curious about it. And here are some examples of how people dressed in previous symposium. And that was a very short run through of the dress codes. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I think there was a question on the chat. So answering, yeah, you'll have access to the document where there will be like a dress code material combined with transportation things. So yeah, you'll have access to it.
I will share the document on Slack, or Raphael can do it. Whoa,
Yeah.
okay.
So if there are no questions for now, maybe let's get to.
I will read all the questions and answer them or on the chat or live after the transportation part.
Okay, fine.
The
So
floor is yours.
Thanks. Can you please
Yes.
the next slide? Okay, so maybe I can introduce myself again. So my name is Rafał, and now I'll tell you about a little bit about transportation in Poland, and especially about your transfer from Warsaw to Lublin.
Just a second.
Okay. So considering no, the previous one, considering the Warsaw is the capital, most of you will probably arrive in Warsaw and will have to face the challenge, or maybe not that big challenge, but the thing to get from Warsaw to Lublin. So if you, okay, but we can stay with this slide. So there are multiple options to get from Warsaw to Lublin, but for example, you can take a taxi, you can rent a car, but these are quite straightforward and simple. So I'll focus on the public transportation. So in Poland, you can choose between taking a bus from Warsaw to Lublin or taking a train. So like, as you can see on the left, the duration of bus transfer can take up to 3 hours. This option is probably cheaper than the train. However, for me, the bus transfer system in Poland isn't so popular, and it tends to be sometimes very local, like probably the driver doesn't speak English, and it might be pretty confusing for foreigners to find a bus on the station or something. So I would recommend you to choose a train because, in my opinion, trains in Poland maintain quite decent standard. as you can see, the cost of the ticket should be about 10 to 15 euros. And the duration is also like fine, it's just 2 hours. So by the way, the distance between Warsaw and Lublin is 150 kilometers, so it's not that far away. Can I ask for the next slide? Yeah, so that's my recommendation. And another slide. Okay, so in this presentation and in the material that will be shared with you later, I will focus on getting from Warsaw to Lublin by train. So when you arrive in Warsaw, you would have to choose to get your train from the 3 stations that are in Warsaw, which you can see on the bottom right. And the choice of the station depends on the time that you arrive in Warsaw and the availability of train transfers. So, and also your preference, if you want to like see the exact stations in Warsaw, it's just up to you. Yeah, so this is the next slide. Yeah, so here you can see 2 maps of Warsaw. So on the left, this is like a part of Warsaw. You should consider this map if you arrive at Warsaw Shopping Airport, which is most probably that you arrive in, because like it's the biggest one and main one in Poland. And as you can see, there are approximate times that it should take you to get from the airport to proper station. Later on in the presentation, I will discuss how to get from the airport to the exact station. And on the right, you can see the same like approximate times on how long does it take to get from Lublin Airport, which is another airport, maybe not in Warsaw, but close to Warsaw, and some of you will probably arrive also there. Yeah, so the next slide, please. Okay, so when you are at the airport and like considering like how to get from the airport to the station. So my recommendation here is to check in advance on the Jakdojade app. I'll tell you about Jakdojade later in the presentation, but just to give some short insight, Jakdojade is a Polish public transport app and also website available both on Google Play and App Store for free. And it provides a very informative and straightforward access to like you just, yeah, it's just a public transport app to see your route. So yeah, that's all. I would recommend you to like check in advance the in this app, in like the other app, for like the times of departures of the trains, exactly the Aero trains. So Aero train is a line that operates in Warsaw and in some suburban regions around Warsaw that you can take to easily and get that, and it will directly get you from the airport to the station. So yeah, you can check it on this website or in the app. And later, when you know on what time you want to get your train, you can get on the website of Koleje Mazowieckie, which is the train operator that provides train transfer service around Warsaw. Yeah, on the website, and the link to their website is also provided in the material. So that's all for it. Can I ask for the next one? Okay, so suppose you happily arrive in Lublin. Let's now focus on this part. So as you can see on the right, there is a map of Lublin with some important places marked. So there is in purple Lublin Główny, which is the main train station. And if you choose to travel by train, but also if you decide to choose a bus, you will most probably arrive there. Also, if you go from different cities, like from Kraków or from Poznań, you also probably arrive at Lublin Główny. So you can and again see the approximate times it takes to go from Lublin from the main station to exact hotels. And also there is a university, the Faculty of Economics, marked in blue. So as you can see, it doesn't take long to get from each of the hotels to the UMCS on foot, but you can also take a bus or tram, and the time shouldn't exceed like 10 to 15 minutes as well. Another thing about Lublin, because it might be interesting for you, are the tickets. So when it comes to public transport tickets in Lublin, you can buy, okay, maybe like where to buy the tickets. So the tickets are available. I'm sorry, I've never been to Lublin, so this is just up to my research and asking my friends from Lublin, how does it work there? So I researched that on bigger stations, bus stations, there are ticket machines where you can purchase the tickets, and also that in Lublin kiosks operate or some similar shops to this. And so as you can see on the left, the price shouldn't exceed €1, like the exact price is 460 zlotys for the one-way ticket. And also there are available time tickets. They're available, I only mentioned here like 24-hour ticket because this might be the one you might be interested in, but also they're available for like 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours. But the price for 24-hour ticket is around €3. And also I forgot to mention when talking about the train tickets, that unfortunately, as I checked, there are no discounts for international students for train tickets, and the same is probably for Lublin. So yes, can I ask for the next? Okay, and now we move to the Jakdojade app. So now I'll provide you the very short guide on how to use it. So as I mentioned earlier, Jakdojade is a Polish transport app that is available both on Google Play and in App Store. I personally liked it very much because, even though I live in Warsaw and I know how to communicate here, I use it almost every day because it's simply very helpful. So on the right, you can see the screenshot from the website with some important things marked. So on the left, as you can see, there is like the choice of the city. And because you'll probably use the app in Warsaw and in Lublin, make sure to choose the right city that you want to check the transportation in, because of course, it's possible that there are the same names of the streets in different cities. And so it might be confusing for you if you see like a very different map that you would expect to see. So yeah, make sure to choose the right city. Yeah, as in every like transportation app, you can see departure point, destination. But the cool thing is that you can set the exact date and time of your arrival, of your departure. And that's the reason why I recommend you to use this app to plan your travel from Warsaw to Poland, from Warsaw to Lublin, because you can check it in advance before your flight and make sure you can also like check the different options I didn't mention here. And just to kind of get insight on how does it look like, you can also check the map, which is on the next slide. Yeah, so when you choose the exact option in this app, you get something like this, and you can see this map. It's pretty nice because it shows you the exact route of your transfer, but also like it gets your location and shows you where exactly to go from the point that you are at the moment to the, for example, bus station, like just like Google Maps. So yeah, and all the other features that are visible here. And I think that would be all for this part. Okay, so now it's time for the questions for the Q&A session. So Bia, maybe you would like to answer some questions that appeared in the chat.
Yes. So what I saw, at least for dress code, is basically if the information will be published. Yes. And actually in the document, we have more details on the exact so-called regulations, or I would say like recommendations on what to do and what not to do. So I think that like the more compelling ones are like business casual and formal. So even though it might be very hard, just really try to respect these suggestions. And apart from that, I guess like be comfortable and enjoy yourself. And I think that like most of the questions are regarding transportations, if you can real quick go over it. Or I think that it would be even easier if people could raise their hands and just
Yeah, I agree,
communicate
because there are quite a lot of them. Yeah, like I saw one about whether it's, for example, Uber common. Yeah, it is very common, as well as taxis, but of course, like Uber is cheaper. So yeah, and this is also a recommended option. I'm not sure whether you can get from Warsaw to Lublin with Uber, but it might also be the case. However, like when it comes to transport it might also be a good choice to get like from the airport to the proper station in Warsaw, or to travel in Lublin, like with Uber. So yeah. And yeah, so as Bia said, if you've got any questions, just raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask. But I'll try to find another questions.
I think that there was also a question on how reliable Flixbus is in the country. Actually, Flixbus is very common, at least like as a student, I would say that it's very common service to travel, but please consider that sometimes they can be late, even though they don't have strikes, but there can be a delay of 1 or 2 hours. So if you're thinking of using it as connection, just be prepared for that.
Yeah, also about Flixbus, like because like in the presentation I indicated that like the recommended option is to travel by train. Like it's not that it's not reliable, like the bus transfer system in Poland. However, like from my experience, I didn't travel much with buses among Poland. However, once I had a situation like I was just sitting at the bus station, like on some main bus station, and the bus just arrived. There was no like sign or something. They just, people like gathered, the bus go away, and like it might be quite confusing like for people who are like from different cultures, and like if there's no like English speaker in this group. So yeah, but Flixbus it's probably one of the most popular like bus operators in Poland. Yeah, so yeah, the question regarding the time ticket. So let me read it. So does it with the time tickets, does it mean they are valid for the time duration no matter how far you travel? Yes, that's correct. They are like, yeah, just as you said, that's correct.
I actually have a question for Beatrix, I think, from Holly Jones. So there are 2 days that we need to dress fully professional.
As far as I checked the timetable, I think so, because I think that like fully professional is only required for the presentation days, and you have 2 presentations. So apart from that, it's simply business casual in most of the days.
Yes, I can confirm it, Bia. So yes, 2 days dressed professional.
Okay, answering another question regarding transportation. So how expensive would an Uber be from the Lublin airport to the company hotel? So my first answer would be like, it can be very easily checked like on the Uber app. But if I had to like say, I think it shouldn't exceed 10 euros. It would be like around 40 zlotys. I'm not sure how far away from Lublin is the Lublin airport, but I think that might be the price. Also, there's a question, what time does the hotel registration start? So, Magda, maybe you can
yes, let me answer
answer.
this question. So actually today, you know that it's the final deadline to submit the second form we sent you guys, right? About arrival time and about passport information and so on. So actually, of course, you should try to tell us the approximate time of arrival. But of course, if anything wrong happens, there will be ambassadors waiting for you at the welcome reception at the university campus. So as far as the hotels are concerned, you can check in anytime. I mean, hotels know that Starting from July the 12th, there will be ex-culture people arriving at any time all day long, right? As far as the welcome reception.
For the hotels, the check-ins are only, I think, after 1 p.m. for the hotels.
Okay.
They cannot. We cannot check in in
not
the morning.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
However, can we like ambassadors should mostly be around the hotel or like in that zone?
Yes.
Should be solvable, most probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure. So sorry, good to know. Okay. But as regards the welcome reception desk, I can assure you that there will be ambassadors available, as I said, also after 5 p.m. because the welcome reception starts at 6 p.m. The welcome reception desk should close around 5 p.m. But there will be late arrivals for sure. And I mean, every time there are late arrivals, so there will be some ambassadors waiting for you in case you are late.
Okay, we have Maxine.
Oh yeah, so I have a question about the Google form that we need to submit due today. So in this form, there's a question where we need to fill in the estimated time of arrival in Lublin and at UMCS for the registration, right? So my question is, how accurate should this information be? Because we're going to Lublin by car and we're not sure how long we'll have to wait at customs.
Yeah, as I said, try to fill in the approximate arrival time. Of course, it's just for us to know, for the ambassadors team to know how many people will arrive after 5 p.m. In order to understand how many ambassadors must be available after that time waiting for late arrivals. Okay, did I answer you?
And about the arrival to Lublin, should we like only put in the day, approximate day when we'll arrive, or like hour?
Yeah, try to put in both. I mean, also the arrival time, if you can. Of course,
okay, I'll try.
If anything wrong happens, we know that delay is possible. I mean, so don't worry. But it's just an information for the ambassadors team, as I said, to organize appropriately.
Yeah, it's just for us to understand if we are missing anyone and when they will approximately join us, so we can be aware of that. So it doesn't need to be correct, the right number,
precise,
right?
yes. Because, you know, for example, in Italy, there were people who told us that they would have arrived, I don't know, by 5 p.m. And then we were looking for them after that time because we didn't receive any notice of delay. And so this is an information we ask, because if we see that you are very late, for example, if you are 2-3 hours, if you have 2-3 hour delay, we can try to contact you on Slack, checking if everything is okay, where you are, and that kind of thing.
But I think that like on the day or like very close to when you arrive, you can also check or like contact your ambassador regarding this, so that there is at least one person who knows what's going on with you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, now we have Emily. Emily?
Yes, hello. Would you help us with the money exchange from euro to zloty, I think it's called?
Yeah, like what exactly do you mean? Maybe if I can like this is
so where do I can do the money exchange there? Or I don't know. What do you recommend us?
Okay.
I think that the question was basically, where do you recommend, or do you know any places where you can exchange money easily, right?
Yes. Yes.
So probably no. Like like if it's personally to meet, like I don't think so. I'm not sure if I have any like specific recommendation for this that without research I can tell.
Actually, we didn't search for that, but I will ask the university professor so I can get more information, and I can also share it within the document that we are creating for you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
But from my side, at least, I was planning to get euros here in Brazil, and then I would exchange money if needed there. But it's what I'm planning so far.
Because, yeah, if I may add another piece of info. So as regards Europeans, I think credit cards work in Poland without any necessary, I don't know how to say it. So you don't have to contact your bank to say, I'm going to Poland, because credit cards work in Europe. So, I mean, if you go to an ATM point to withdraw money, you will receive automatically zlotys instead of euros, for example. As regards non-European people, I think you should check. At least this is what I did when I traveled to Canada some years ago. Basically, you have to check with your bank that they activate your credit card so that you are able to, as I said, withdraw money from ATM points in local currency. So it should be easy for those of you who live in Europe. For non-European people, check with your bank before coming to Lublin that your credit card is active for Europe, so that you don't need actually any currency exchange in advance, because you just need to find an ATM point, and ATM points are very you can find an ATM point for sure at the airport, so that you can withdraw the local currency there. This is my advice, at least.
Yeah, so there's also a question regarding whether the credit cards are commonly accepted in most places, or is cash more common in smaller towns. So I've never been in Lublin, and maybe I saw that Natasha is also here. Maybe you can assist with this question. But I think in most places, credit cards are accepted. However, it would be good to like have some cash, for example, when going like on some trips to the places that the trips are planned. And yeah, so answering, I think in the most places, credit cards is fine. And also, as Amanda said, it shouldn't be a problem to deposit cash from the ATMs.
Are we missing any question?
There are a couple of questions here. Yeah, so for example, for the Uber taxes, whether it can be paid by card. Yes, like it's specific to Uber. You just have to add your card to the Uber application. And when it comes to taxes, I think at least in Warsaw, it works like that, probably in other cities as well. So yeah, you should be able to pay with the card. Okay, Carlos, you're raising your hand. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, I do have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm traveling from Warsaw to Lublin using the train. I'll be arriving at Warsaw like on the 10th, so I can like do some sightseeing, like and check some stuff and such. But I was planning like to travel to Lublin like on the morning of the 12th. But I haven't been able to purchase the ticket online. I was thinking about purchasing it like on Warsaw. So my question is, how easily is to use the English there? Like, do they manage the English language in their like ticket booths, within the train stations? I know like in the airplanes is no problem whatsoever, but for example, I've been trying some Polish and it's hard. So respect. Yeah, but that's the main question. Like, it's hard like to purchase things in English, both in Warsaw and in Lublin.
Yeah, so when it comes to Warsaw, I don't think it should be a problem. However, as I was doing some research for the transportation in Warsaw, I found that some ticket offices are closed on some main stations in Warsaw. So I would still recommend you like you can also do it like even on your phone, like on the website, book your ticket online simply. And I also think there are ticket machines on some of the stations where you can purchase and book your tickets for the train transfer from Warsaw to Lublin. And yeah, these are available in English as well. So I don't think it should be a problem in Warsaw. In Lublin, since like it's the youth capital of Europe, it shouldn't be a problem as well. I hope I answered.
Yeah, that's great. Do you have like any website that I can use to purchase the train tickets? Because I've been trying to get into the Jakdojade application. Sorry for my
Jakdojade, yes.
pronunciation. Yeah, sorry for the pronunciation. Uh, but that it's not working. I know I'm in Colombia, so I don't know if maybe that's the reason. Like I'm on the other side of the planet, and like in
Yeah, that might be the case.
yeah. So
Yeah, by the way, Jakdojade, like translating to English is how do I get there? So like to make you all
awesome.
remember this. Yeah. But regarding the website, yeah, in the material there is a link to the website of the operator. And I pasted there the link, like the site translated to English. And yeah, it's I believe like almost like in everywhere in the world, like booking tickets for transport looks quite similar, so I think it shouldn't be a problem. But
Okay.
yeah,
Hey, thank you. That's great. Awesome.
I have a quick question. So for visa, when we get there to the airport, how would that work? Um, like, do we just go to the customs and they'll give us the visa, or do we need to show some type of proof or something? Because I know, like, you'll probably need a visa to enter the country.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Like, so when we get to the airport, I'm sure we're gonna need a visa to enter the country. Is that something? Because I remember I went to Turkey not too long ago and I had to get a visa before I could even exit the airport. So is that the same when we get to Poland, or how would that work?
Probably yes, at least from all the international airports that I arrived, they ask it right whenever you are getting your packages, right? You're asked to share your visas and your documents to arrive in the
Okay.
country. So probably yes.
And how do we get the visa? Like, do
You
we
need
have it beforehand, or how?
Yeah, you need to request it beforehand, probably on the embassy in your country.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
that sounds good.
You
Thank you.
probably I recommend you to check right away, right now, because probably it's kind of late. So it's going to be very better if you search right away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get on it today.
Just look up your country's official site and then like look up Poland or like European Union and search for the fastest way possible, because if you need a visa, like 2 weeks is like no time.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah,
will do that.
just make sure that which country are you from?
United States.
So you are from United States. You don't need visa, so it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have a US passport, so I was just wondering about that.
Okay, yeah, you got me scary right there, but you don't need
No.
visa from the United States. That's fine.
Okay, good. So I don't need to do anything. I just show them my passport.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
So may I answer another question I read in the chat? So as regards the form you have to fill out by the end of the day, basically, you are asked also your flight details, right? You can put there also your flight number if you wish. I mean, the more information you give us, the better it is in case you got lost, because we have information to look for you. And there was another question about hotels, but I'm not able to find it anymore. I wanted to ask you, Rafa, if you could answer it, but I lost it.
I answered a question here in this chat, but I will tell everyone as well. Is the 3 hotels distant from the university campus? If not, how would you recommend we get from the hotels to the university? So yes, you can walk. It's usually the professor told us that it's between 15 to 20 minutes for every hotel, but also we will create a hotel channel in Slack to separate the groups, so you guys can also check there for cabs together, so you guys can split. It's going to be very cheap if you split the Uber or Bolt together, so it's going to be very fine for you. Okay.
I found it, Rafa. Actually, there is another question. So Diane asks, when will we receive the hotel reservation and our room number? So they want.
Yeah, for that information I don't have yet, but probably the idea is that whenever you get to your hotel, you already have, right, this information. Everyone is supposed to have received which hotels and also their roommates, right? If you didn't, just let me know, I can send you. Okay, so it's fine. So whenever you arrive at the hotel, just show your passport and an ID, and then they will get you the number of the hotels. But if anything changed, but this is our plan so far, but if any change, I will let you know.
Also, I will create the channels and share it on the announcement channel. And then you can click on a channel to join the particular channel. For example, if you already know your hotel, which you should be knowing through Rafael's email, you can directly join the channel and you will have all the members in that particular hotel through that channel. Rafael, correct me if I'm wrong, we have already shared their hotel names and their partner.
Yeah.
Perfect.
At least all of them are supposed to have received. If you see them receive, just let me know so I can send it again, okay? How long will the welcome reception be? So as Mada said, it's going to start the registration desk. Oh, the welcome session or?
Yeah, the welcome reception starts at 6 p.m. and it will probably last at least a couple of hours for sure. So, but guys, if you have, I wanted to take the chance to remind you that we are going to organize another Q&A session next Friday, so on July the 30th. So in case you have any specific question about the program, you will have the chance to ask your questions also on Friday. But yes, the welcome reception should last at least a couple of hours.
Yeah. Is there any other questions related to dress coding and transportation?
Helly, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my question was also on the welcome reception. I know you said the registration ends at 5, but I'll only be arriving in Lublin at around 6:30.
No problem.
So will I still be able to register for the welcome reception?
Of course. Yes. As I said before, there will be ambassadors waiting for you. So for late arrivals, there will be at least a couple of ambassadors waiting for these people so that you can check in later, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Rafa, I don't know if we have already discussed this, but there might be some participants who will arrive directly at Lublin airport. Like Meda and me, I will be arriving directly to Lublin airport. So will there be Uber? Like, is airport far from the university? We need a shuttle, or you can do a Uber. It's nearby.
So like I'm pretty sure Uber operates at this distance, so I think you can. I didn't check like the trains or like forms of public transportation, but if you decide to use Uber, it should be fine.
The professor that recommended choose Uber or Bolt. Bolt. That's the name, I
Yeah,
think.
there is also the app. Yeah.
Got it.
But there was also like an issue raised in the chat. I'm not really sure how to approach this one. That some people, like in some countries, Polish sites might not be available, like in order to book trains or like to check, for example, Jakdojade app or website. And maybe like other ambassadors can help with this, like, because it's pretty related to like collaborating globally, like is using VPN or something like that, solving a problem? Or because one person wrote that they can't access like the Polish train transfers site and book a train. So I'm not really sure how to answer this, but it sounds like an issue.
Generally, VPN works fine.
Yeah.
But if you are unsure about VPN, I think there are some settings in Play Store or Apple Store where you can change the country to download the local apps. But I don't have to double check that particular information. Maybe once all the ambassadors can check it and find a reliable procedure to address this issue, we can add this to our shared materials for where we are sharing this itinerary and travel and formal your tips and tricks, whatever it is.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, man, you can unmute yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So for the so my flight's gonna be from Warsaw on the way back is gonna be the 19th, but it's gonna be pretty early, so there's no like really buses or trains I could find that get to Warsaw early enough. What do you think it's a good idea to just take like an Uber there or just like a taxi or something like that from Lublin to Warsaw?
And what time are you leaving, if I can ask, like from Lublin to
So
Warsaw?
I wanted to leave Lublin like at 6 a.m., 6:30 or something like that.
Okay. I haven't checked that, but I'm pretty sure. Have you tried looking like for train transfer from Lublin to Warsaw at
Yeah,
this time?
I tried, but they would get there pretty late. Because I want to get to the airport at least 2.5 to 3 hours before my flight.
Okay,
So I can
okay.
have some wiggle room.
Yeah, I believe it will be a bit more expensive, but for sure there is possibility to like take a taxi from Lublin to Warsaw, but you will have to check it in advance or like plan it, like call
Yeah, of course.
taxi operator or something like that. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
For those who are asking about visas, you guys can check this website here. There you'll find all the countries that are visa free. Okay. Canada does not require sorry, a visa to go to Poland. Okay.
Okay, Jessica, you're raising your hand. So.
Yeah, I just have a basic question about customs in and out of Poland in general. I'm coming from the US. I know some countries, like I went to Chile and it was at least 3 hours and a very, very, very long line. So is there, and we know you have to be for an international flight at the airport at least 2 to 3 hours before, but is there anything kind of specific for Poland in general that we should take into account? Any horrendously long customs lines on average or anything like that?
Can you like repeat the question, or because I'm not sure how to answer it?
Sure. So if you're traveling into Poland or out of Poland, whether that be Warsaw or Lublin or any other airport, and you're not a European citizen, so going out of the country, coming in, is there generally extended, like really long lines for customs, or is that like a thing in Poland, or is it generally like very quick? Because some countries, they have disclaimers on their websites what will say, you need to be at least 3 hours just for immigration and customs. aside from any other kind of lines.
Okay, I got a question. So, as a citizen of Poland, I haven't had the situation, but I really haven't ever heard about that, about waiting in very long queues on the airports for this. So, and also I don't think I know any issue like that. So, I'm not sure about it, but I think that's not the big case on Polish airports. Like, it shouldn't be an issue.
I think it also depends on the size of the airport. If the airport is comparatively smaller, it has less terminals and more flights coming and going, then it's hard for them to operate and all those things. And I think Warsaw is comparatively bigger, having a bigger airport. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rafael.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a pretty big airport, and it should be able to accommodate many travelers at the same time. So it shouldn't be a problem, according to me.
Agree.
One thing that you should maybe look out for, like it's relevant for everyone coming by planes, is that there usually are quite a few strikes during the summer all over Europe. So if you have any connection flights, just make sure that there are no strikes on the specific date when you arrive or when you leave, because that might cause a problem. I've heard of serious strikes, for example, that are happening at the beginning and end of symposium, for example, in the UK at Heathrow. So, and in other cities too, maybe try to, if you have any connections, just try to check out, look out for.
Okay, we have Maxine.
Yeah, thank you. So I have a question about the symposium itself, like the schedule. So how much time will we have to work on our presentations with our teams, like during the symposium?
During the symposium, probably every night you guys will you have time for that.
Every day you have some team time, so-called team time. Team time means that you have the chance to work on your presentation. So we will organize several activities during the day, but then in the late afternoon you have always team time. So don't worry. But of course, our advice is that you start working on your presentation before the event starts, so that you have a general idea of what you are going to develop at least before the event, because once you're there, you know, you will meet a lot of people, you will meet new friends, you will take part in all our activities. So you may be also a little bit tired, and this is the reason why we advise you to start working on your project far before the event starts.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Thank you.
Hey, Max, this is Tim. Two other key events. On the first full day there, each team will have access to executives from the company, ask them questions. And on the second day that we're there, the teams are going to tour the facilities of their assigned company. So while that's not time to work on your presentation, if you come with a bunch of questions and things you're trying to clarify, those two opportunities should help you hone in on what you want to recommend.
Oh yeah, that's great. Appreciate it.
One question. So when we do the activities that are planned, how is the transportation for that? Are we getting the transportation provided for us?
Yes,
or do we need to
yes,
find our...
yes.
Okay.
We will provide you with buses when needed, and everything will be organized.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
The only part that's on your own is just to get to the hotels, to the university, that's all. For all the activities, we will provide it. Okay. Okay, is there any other question related to transportation or dressing code? Otherwise, we will end the session for today. No? No questions?
No.
Okay, then. So if you have any other questions in the future, feel free to contact us on the professional. Wait, let me type professionals email here or
Yeah, or
in
on
Slack.
Slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see you on Friday 13.
Yeah, on
for
Friday 30
more
we
information. Yeah.
yeah, we will have a Q&A. So if you guys have any other questions related to the program event, feel free to come up with it and we will answer them as well. Okay. So thank you, Bia. Thank you, Rafael. Thank you for the ambassador that joined us today. And thank you for the participants as well. Okay. So
Thank
see you
you.
guys. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.